Hey, where are you? You sound like you're in a closet.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Closet Cast. My name is Seth Gibbons, and today I'm joined by the illustrious Wanderlust. Now, Wanderlust, how are you doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal, Seth. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on. You look magnificent, by the way. Do you want to give us a nice fit check? You seem like you have a good sense of style. Maybe you could give us the rundown of what you got going on here.
I'm big. It's the pictures that got small. Sunset Boulevard, 1950.
That's a great movie. I didn't ask you that, though. I asked you what you were wearing. What you wearing there? You got
Why don't you tell me, big boy?
So Wanderlust likes to play games with me. We go pretty far back.
We shot that D.W. Griffiths film together. You remember, don't you?
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
Birth of a Nation, 1915. Ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's because we worked on it together, and that's what you asked me. So, yeah, I remember it pretty well. You really like that cigarette holder.
Thank you for smoking.
Is that another movie you worked on?
It's a movie I've seen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess you could say I'm an alleged cinephile. Never been convicted, though.
Alleged cinephile. Do you want to expound upon that? That seems like it's a serious accusation.
I love the cinema, Seth. Anybody ever tell you look like that Asian bitch from the film House?
From the film House?
Yeah.
With Will Ferrell?
No, the 1977 one. You know the one I'm talking about.
Oh. I've never gotten that. No.
You've never seen the film?
No, I've never gotten that I look like that bitch from House, 1977.
You know, gorgeous.
Houseu!
That is its Japanese name. I think I'm going to call you gorgeous for the rest of the podcast.
Okay. Thanks, Wanderlust. What was that?
What was what?
What you just did, was that like a...
It's called a natural expulsion, Seth.
A natural expulsion?
Look it up.
Do you want me to look it up?
Maybe if you have safe search turned off.
Well, I do. I think I'm going to look it up. You don't want to just tell me? Because I feel like it's just going to be a waste of time.
Go to Google Images.
Go to Google Images and look up natural expulsion?
And when you're there, you're going to say, Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. Wizard of Oz, 1938.
Okay. I see, nothing, almost. I see...
Show me.
It's a... So, I'll throw it up on screen, what I just showed. Wanderlust.
It's great for cutting.
Cutting? What's cutting?
You tell me.
Interesting.
You ever seen the 2004 film Rules of Attraction?
No. Tell me about it.
It's a sequel to American Psycho.
I think the sequel to American Psycho is...
American Psycho 2 with Mila Kunis?
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
What?
The original author actually wrote Rules of Attraction as a sidequel. It's got James Van Der Beek in it. And that other girl from Knight's Tale.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because Knight's Tale has Chris Evans in it.
What's he doing?
He's the knight.
He also played Captain America. Unless you're talking about British radio host Chris Evans.
I was talking about British radio host Chris Evans, actually.
The host of Top Gear.
The host of Top Gear. Yeah. I love cars. You like cars?
I love cars.
What's your favorite thing about cars? What's your favorite car?
I'd have to say maybe a Phantom Corsair.
Ooh. Do you drive one?
I own 10 of them. All black.
Oh, really? You have a lot of money then, huh?
I have a lot of money
Mhm.
from the silver screen.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Wanderlust has been in countless
The talkies ruined it for me.
The talkies?
The talkies.
You want to give some context to that?
Films were silent for a very long time, Seth, as you know from our work together on Metropolis. And then they started introducing sound.
Hmm. That's okay. Another interesting thing I want to bring up is you have a cigarette holder, but there's no cigarette. It's just the holder.
Ooh.
I don't like when you make those noises. I really don't.
There's a certain subtle sweetness to it, Seth.
What's the subtle sweetness? Is it like lavender? That's a subtle sweetness.
I love the taste of lavender.
The amount of moaning you do when you
and
talk is just
rosemary.
genuinely unnerving.
Is it?
Yeah, where did you learn that from? Did you learn that from like
Maybe that's why they didn't cast me in any more films.
all the moaning?
Because the talkies, you could hear me on set.
You could hear you moaning
Maybe.
when the cameras were not even on
Maybe
you,
that's why George Stevens kicked me off The Greatest Story Ever Told.
which is the name of the movie The Greatest Story Ever Told?
The film is called The Greatest Story Ever Told. I'm not sure if you are familiar with it. But it stars Max von Sydow and John Wayne. It's the story of Christ's death on the cross. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Do you believe in God, Seth?
Do I believe in God? I would say I'm an agnostic. I try to be agnostic, but do you?
I haven't believed in God since Father O'Flaherty in 1967.
What happened with Father O'Flaherty?
Oh, Father, forgive me. I've been a bad, bad boy. Tropic Thunder 2008.
Now you're quoting Tropic Thunder?
Cinema, Seth. Cinema. On The Greatest Story Ever Told, the director George Stevens had John Wayne for the final scene of Christ's death on the cross. And John Wayne had to say, "Oh, truly this is the Son of God." And he kept getting it wrong every single time. And George Stevens walked up to him and he said, "No, John, no. You have to deliver the performance with more awe." So John Wayne does one final take and he says, "Oh, truly this man is the Son of God."
That was genuinely beautiful. Like I felt like my heart flutter. I felt like I was watching the movie again for the first time. I commend you for your
Max
work.
von Sydow plays Christ.
Okay.
Ever seen The Seventh Seal, Seth?
The Seventh Seal?
Yeah.
No. You're naming all these movies that just I think only old people like, in my opinion, and I feel like
How old do you think I am, big boy?
You want me to guess your age?
Take a guess. And if you get it right, you win a prize.
What do I get? I'm gonna say you're between 30 and 57. Okay, do I have to narrow it down?
I was born between 1930 and 1957.
Oh. I respect you.
You want to know why there's no cigarette in this holder?
Why?
Because it keeps me young.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. But also, I asked you that like 10 minutes ago.
I'm the king of the world. Titanic, 1999.
There's no one over there. No, there's no audience.
This isn't shot in front of a live studio audience.
Last time I checked, no, we only have our editor over there. Up in the rafters.
He's a pale man.
He's a pale man. He doesn't tan enough, I guess.
He also appears to be special needs.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, given his situation, he's.
You think he's a normal person?
Do I think he's a normal person?
Yeah.
He's definitely a normal person. I've known him for most of my life.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You ever seen Pumpkinhead?
The horror movie?
Yeah.
No.
Neither have I.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. I watched it when I was like 4.
Who would let you watch a horror movie like
My
that?
grandmother, she was asleep on the chair.
Tell me about your family a bit. Tell me about your grandma and how close you are with her.
She's dead now. She has been for quite some time. I guess you could say I never really had a connection with my father. But a boy's best friend is his mother. Psycho, 1959. Correction, 1960.
Okay. So you were close with your mother then?
Very close as a boy could be.
What did you guys do together?
You know, went to the cinema.
Nice.
Strolls in the park.
Cool.
Went to the theater.
You said that.
I said the cinema.
So
Are
you
you
went.
familiar with David Mamet?
David Mamet?
Yes, David Mamet.
No, I'm not.
He wrote Glengarry Glen Ross.
You're throwing all these people out there that I just have no
He
idea.
and I are good friends with one another.
That's great to hear.
He denied the 2020 election.
What do you think of the 2020 election?
I voted for Joe.
Joe Biden?
No, yeah.
I think I did too.
You think? You
Yeah.
sure didn't write in Bernie Sanders.
I don't think Bernie was a write-in
I actually voted for Ronald Reagan
in the 2020 election.
in the 2020 election.
You were that .00001.
Correct.
Okay.
I knew him.
You knew Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, Nancy Reagan blew me.
Nancy Reagan blew you?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. What was it like?
She gave me that Gluck Gluck 9000.
Is that what they said back then?
That's what they said back then. Backlot Betty, you know.
Backlot Betty. Whoa, Black Betty. Bam, bam, whoa.
Yeah, sure. That was written about her.
Nice. Who else have you gotten head from?
Ronald Reagan.
Oh, for real.
But that was after he had already succumbed to dementia.
Presidential head.
You know what's quite unfair? Monica Lewinsky. Bill Clinton. Big scandal. Me, Ronald Reagan. Didn't even get a headline.
I think it's because
I haven't started any films in 80 years. And
Maybe.
Ronald Reagan's last role was that one where he didn't have legs.
Is that true?
That is. It wasn't his final role, but his most critically lauded performance, he didn't have legs.
Is critically lauded.
Correct.
Can you define lauded?
Appreciated, praised, something you've probably never had in your life.
Appreciation and praise? I've gotten that many times. From you, too.
Want me to keep naming people? Seth.
You can just
My little gorgeous.
name names. Name people you know.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
And Ghislaine Maxwell.
I feel like that first one's a little bit problematic.
Well, he did it to me.
That's still
I didn't do it to him.
That doesn't... Are you okay?
On what level?
What other names do you know?
Have you ever seen the 1987 film House?
The one with the
Guy from Cheers?
the Vietnam
Yeah,
vet?
that one.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What'd you think of it?
It's pretty good.
Big Ben. His name was Big Ben.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it. It was corny, though.
I thought so too.
So you know him?
I watched a lot of horror movies in anticipation of being here because I know you're a fan of the genre.
Like, what? What did you watch?
House 1977. House 1987. House 2, the second story.
Do you have a fascination with houses?
Not in particular.
So why did you...
It's what HBO Max pushed towards me.
Oh, you have HBO Max.
I have HBO Max.
And it pushed you House, 1977, House.
Or maybe that's just what I searched. I don't remember.
So you might... Are you high? Do you do drugs?
Not in many years. Not since it happened.
What happened? You're crying, for fuck's sake.
I'm just remembering years of past.
Years have passed.
I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum. Which is what I am. Let's face it. On the Waterfront, 1953.
You sure have a knack for your movie quotes. I'll give you that. But it's getting fucking annoying.
Is it?
I'm on my last straw.
Because I'm going to keep doing it. It gets me hard.
What sexuality are you?
Demisexual.
Define that.
I took a test on BuzzFeed.
You took a test on...
Read me the definition.
You want me to read you the definition?
Read me the definition.
So you took a test on BuzzFeed to figure out what sexuality you were?
Correct.
Why couldn't you figure that out for yourself?
How would I have figured it out? I had to take a test.
I mean... You don't have to.
You know, Seth, you're giving me kind of loving eyes right now.
I'm just staring at you.
You're trying to seduce me.
I have a
Mrs.
girlfriend.
Robinson, aren't you?
No.
The Graduate, 1967.
That's a great use of that quote, but truly I'm not trying to seduce you. Seth Gibbons, 2023. So a demisexual is experiencing sexual feelings and attraction only after developing a close emotional relationship and not on the basis of first impressions, physical characteristics, etc. So that's how you feel.
Now that I've switched my leg over, it's harder to hold the cigarette.
Well, let's take a break and thank our sponsors this week, Heinz Ketchup. Thank you so much.
Oddly enough, the Heinz family are the people who designed the Phantom Corsair. That is an actual fact. You can look that up. And that was not planned.
That was not planned. Apparently, the Phantom Corsair. Holy fucking shit. Shout out to Heinz. Thank you very much for sponsoring this episode.
Hot dog, please?
How much you don't add or what?
No thanks. I got it covered.
Heinz ketchup. It's so rich, so thick. Why waste time with anything else? Heinz, the best things come to those who wait.
Thank you to Heinz Ketchup for sponsoring this episode. We appreciate you guys, and we also appreciate the Phantom
Corsair.
Phantom Corsair. Gorgeous. Now that we're done with the first segment, you had something you wanted to talk to me about on the break.
Have you ever been loved, Seth?
Have I ever been loved?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so. Why?
By who?
Currently my girlfriend.
Have you said I love you to her?
No.
Has she said it to you?
No. But we've said it accidentally.
Are you sure it's been accidentally and not just subconsciously?
That's a good question. I think it's a mixture of both.
Why haven't you said it yet?
Waiting
Don't
for the
feel
right
comfortable?
time.
Don't feel comfortable?
No. We're waiting for the right time. Of course. You know?
What about now? Do you feel comfortable now to say it?
To you? With your hand on my knee like that?
Yes.
No. I barely know you.
You barely know me. We've known each other for so long.
I've known of you for so long. I met you 30
You
years ago.
knew me in a previous life when I performed as Amos Adams.
Yeah.
But he's dead now.
Oh,
And
shit.
all that remains is Wanderlust.
And we're so happy to have you. I have a gift for you.
Show it to me, big boy.
Since I knew you were coming, I wanted to surprise you, but since I know that you're struggling with your well, I guess what would be the proper way to say it, your sex change. Got you a tampon.
This is a regular one.
From what I know, it's a regular one.
That's very helpful, thank you.
You're welcome. So
I have very deep pockets, Seth.
they go far down there.
As Thomas Aquinas once said, it's turtles all the way down.
I don't really understand that one. I think all the other quotes.
That one's not a film quote.
What is that from?
Religious scholar text.
So you're into religious studies and stuff as well?
You always have to know your enemy, Seth.
Is your enemy people that are religious?
Religion as a whole.
Religion as a whole, so you don't...
Me and Philip Glass once had a conversation about Tibetan Buddhism at Tibet House in New York.
Really?
Yes.
What was the conversation like? What did you discuss about religion?
It was mainly saying Om for about 45 minutes. Don't mock it, Seth.
I feel like you guys mocked it doing it for 45 minutes.
Why should you only do transcendental meditation for 10 to 15 minutes?
Is that a question?
Are you familiar with the cuttings of David Lynch?
The cuttings, like the movies?
Yes.
Yeah.
What one's your favorite?
Probably Blue Velvet. Or Mulholland Drive.
I liked Mulholland Drive. Interesting fact about the word Mulholland in Mulholland Drive.
Mm-hmm.
You see, Los Angeles used to have a large dam holding a lot of water back. And the lead engineer was Mulholland. Unfortunately, he wasn't a very good engineer. He was an amateur engineer. And the dam gave way, and tens of thousands of people perished. Like a real-life flood.
Is that real?
That is true.
Hmm.
That's where Mulholland Drive gets its name from.
The street. The actual street, Mulholland
Correct.
Drive, not the movie.
Well, the film is named for the street. Don't be a dumbass.
No. I promise I'm not being a dumbass.
Have you ever seen Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me?
I have.
What are your thoughts on it?
It's really good. I really like
Do you
it.
like David Bowie's performance in it?
I do.
So do I.
Seems like we have a lot in common.
I hate horror.
You just said you watched a bunch to prepare for this interview.
I didn't say I enjoyed it.
So you didn't enjoy House, 1977.
My hand went nowhere near my crotch.
So with with watching movies then, do you quantify the
It's an
quality?
experience, Seth.
You touch yourself while watching a movie.
Maybe I do, and maybe I do.
What movie do you enjoy touching yourself the most to?
2013's The Counselor.
What?
Ridley Scott's 2013 film The Counselor.
What happens in that movie? Like what?
Brad Pitt gets his fucking head cut off.
Oh shit! Really?
Yes.
Sounds kind of awesome.
Michael Fassbender's in it as well. He does not hang dong in it, though.
He doesn't hang dong.
He does not hang dong in it.
Does he hang dong in any movie he's in?
He does. Shame.
You can see his dong.
Full frontal.
Is that a movie you pleasure yourself to?
No.
Why?
I'm demisexual. Don't forget.
So the counselor brings out such an intense emotion in you that you feel so sexually attracted to it.
Cameron Diaz fucks a car in it.
Does that bring out your demisexual?
Javier Bardem is sitting in the car. He also owns a cheetah for some reason. It's a very weird film.
Sounds.
Penelope Cruz also gets her fucking head cut off.
So do you find decapitation sexy?
Slightly erotic.
So hypothetically, we're sitting here. All of a sudden, a saw blade comes through the window and chops my fucking head off. How would you react?
Well, there'd already be a little bit of pre-cum, but I think I would finish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I just died.
Somebody's gonna have to dispose of the body.
Would that be you?
Maybe I'd dress you up like my mother and put you in a chair. I'm not a necrophiliac, Seth, you fool.
You seem like you're alluding to the fact that you like people's heads getting cut off since...
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Sunset Boulevard, 1950.
Who are you talking to? I'm sure that cigarette holder's enjoying your...
It's hypnotic to you.
Well, I'm just watching you.
You like to watch.
I wouldn't...
I had
say
sex
did.
with
I
Marlon Brando once. Paul Mooney was jerking off in the corner. Richard Pryor was also there.
Richard Pryor?
Richard Pryor and I were lovers.
Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando?
Had a gay relationship.
What do you think of R. Kelly?
His rap career or his professional basketball career?
His personal life.
I don't know much of it. Why don't you fill me in?
I'm surprised you're not aware.
What, did he have a harem of women locked in his basement? Who hasn't?
Moving on. So... Are you doing okay otherwise?
Financially, no.
Financially or not?
I haven't acted in 103 years.
So the last movie you've been in,
D.W. Griffith's A Birth of a Nation,
is that from 1920?
1915.
So you haven't acted in... You haven't acted in 108 years.
108 years.
Yeah, correct that. Guess time flies for you, huh? How old were you in
Have you ever seen the hit film Hugo?
No.
It's pretty good. It's about my life story.
Who do you play? Borat?
I believe you mean Sacha Baron Cohen.
I do. Sorry.
Don't marginalize him to just one role. He's a phenomenal actor.
I'm sorry.
Have you ever seen him in Sweeney Todd, that thing?
The barber?
Demon Barber from Fleet Street, Street, I believe is the full name.
I think you nailed it, yeah. No, I haven't seen it. He a good singer?
I don't think Sacha Baron Cohen sings in it at all, but he does get cut up and put into a chest. Spoiler alert.
So you told me you were born between 1930 and 1957 or whatever.
Maybe that's when my rebirth was.
You had a rebirth?
It's Wanderlust.
That's right. You practice Buddhism,
Tibetan Buddhism.
Tibetan Buddhism. Do you believe in reincarnation then?
Have you ever seen the 1933 film Storm Over Tibet?
No.
I was also in that one.
Why?
Martin Scorsese used it as inspiration for his 1996 film Kundun.
Were you ever in a Martin Scorsese movie?
I know Martin personally.
Seems like you know a lot of people personally.
Martin Scorsese gave me that sloppy toppy
Oh, he did.
on the set of Raging Bull.
Can you fact check these? Are you sure that all these people have given you head?
Oh, I guess you could say I'm obsessed with head.
Well, decapitations and receiving head, those both seem to be your forte. What are you looking at there?
I got a text. David Ayer is casting for a new film.
David Ayer?
Correct.
Why him? Why are you interested in David Ayer?
I'm not interested in him. He's interested in me.
Why is he interested in you? Is he filming some like lowbrow
Suicide
slutty
Squad
rom-com?
3.
Suicide Squad 3?
Correct.
Why did they bring him back?
Because he did so good the first time.
Did he?
No.
Why are you
You
lying
ever
to
seen
me?
Fury?
I've seen Fury.
Do you like Shia LaBeouf?
Not really.
What about Nymphomaniac? Lars von Trier's 2013 affair.
Why would I watch that?
It's got people fucking Seth.
Is that a movie you like pleasuring yourself to?
No. My cock was soft.
In a movie about sex? Your sock was coughed?
I guess you could say that.
Oh. It's getting hot in here.
Is it?
No.
You ever seen Piranha 3D?
I have.
What are your thoughts on it?
It's awful.
I own a copy of the script for Terminator.
You own a copy of the script for Terminator 1?
Correct.
Why?
I was bought it as a gift.
You bought it as a gift.
No, I was bought it as a gift.
You were bought it as a gift.
Correct.
Someone bought it for you
Correct.
as a gift.
Correct.
Do you really like Terminator?
I'll be back. Terminator, 1982.
Damn, that was good. That was really fucking good. For a second, I thought Arnold was...
Do you know Arnold Schwarzenegger takes classes with a speech therapist to maintain his thick Austrian accent?
Like Glasses of Ice? Or...
Classes, you have bad listening skills. Classes with a C.
Your flies unzipped.
I'm not wearing any pants, Seth.
Are you hungry? You want anything?
Like what?
Well, I don't know what are you hungry for. What do you
Hard salami?
eat? We have hard salami. Do you want hard salami?
No.
Okay. How come you always seem to backtrack? You
Got
don't
any Chinese food?
Do we have to eat Chinese food? We might. I know. I'm Korean. My grandma gave me some fried rice. If you want some Korean fried rice.
No. Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown. Chinatown, 1974.
That was an easy one.
Are you familiar with Arthur Miller?
No.
You don't know anything about him.
No.
He was married to Marilyn Monroe.
Okay. And you're bringing up why?
He wrote The Crucible.
Sure.
Are you familiar with The Crucible?
I'm familiar. I don't know how to read though.
Do you like Daniel Day-Lewis?
He is a piece of fucking shit.
Why? You don't like method acting?
No, I don't like meth acting.
What about methadone acting?
That's what you do. You got meth addict written all over you,
I haven't done meth since it was cool.
which is Which is when?
When barbiturates took over in the 1940s and 50s.
Watch your mouth. Barbiturates?
It's what killed Marilyn. More weight. The Crucible, 1996.
Is there a Crucible movie?
There is. Daniel Day-Lewis is in it. Winona Ryder is also in it.
Well, this is just a joy of a podcast. I'm having a blast.
Ask me some questions, big boy.
I have been. You always seem to turn it into
Ask me another question, gorgeous.
gorgeous. I like being called gorgeous. So, since you're not acting anymore, and the last time you acted was in 1918, what do you do for money then?
You know, this, that, the other thing.
And, is it something you'd want to
Do you want me to say it? I whore myself out.
You whore yourself out. Okay. So what is that like? What is that life like? How much is it?
It pays pretty well.
Now, how much would it cost for
one night?
for one night?
For an
sure.
hour?
For a night.
For a night? Is the person a friend that's asking?
Yeah, a friend.
Then I guess maybe I could give him a discount. Maybe 200 or 300 kroners.
You know, that's steep. I'll give you that, but
Have you ever been to Europe, Seth?
have I been to Europe? No. Have you?
Many times. I shot a lot of films there.
What's in Europe?
Roman Polanski.
I hate those frogs.
He can't come back to the United States.
Why's that? What'd he do?
He was accused of something.
Were you any part of that?
Maybe I supplied the champagne.
Is that the only involvement you had? I mean, that still seems like a pretty big involvement. Are you sure you're not under investigation at all?
Where are we shooting the podcast currently? That's what I thought.
Well, our last sponsor was Heinz. But you'd be surprised because
Is the next one going to be Colgate Palmolive?
it's exactly that. It is Colgate Palmolive. Thank you, Colgate Palmolive, for sponsoring this episode. Do you want to say your favorite thing about Colgate Palmolive real quick?
That's where soap operas get their name from. Palmolive was the original sponsor. That's where the soap and soap operas come from. The more you know.
Well, it's crazy that we have them on as a sponsor. So thank you so much, Colgate Palmolive, for sponsoring this episode. You guys are seriously the best.
The best.
Madge, the hands fell off this cloth.
Ah, you should be so lucky.
Oh, why don't I try for these?
Try everything and use Palmolive dishwashing liquid. It softens your hands while you do the dishes. You're soaking in it.
Dishwashing liquid?
It's Palmolive.
Mild?
More than mild. Makes heaps of suds that last. And like I said, Palmolive softens hands while you do the dishes.
Madge, I'm cuckoo over Palmolive.
That makes two of you.
Thank you to Colgate Palmolive for sponsoring this episode. Welcome to the last third of the podcast. While we were on break, we got some snacks, got some food, and I found out something. You're a true vegan.
I am an ethical vegan.
What does that mean?
When you asked about the hard salami before and I said no, that was kind of a test. You didn't pass. I'm an ethical vegan. I've posed for PETA before. I've put animals down for PETA. You know, everything.
You've put animals down for PETA?
PETA puts down a couple thousand animals each year.
Why do they do that? I thought they were all about animals.
They also have a giant freezer on their complex.
To put the animals in?
They literally have, I think, like an 80,000 square foot freezer.
Just for animals? Dead animals?
Correct.
What do they do with the animals?
They put them down.
And then what? Put them in the freezer? Do they wait until like there's like a serum to bring back dead animals?
No, I think they just later dispose of them. It was in their tax filings.
And they put them... How do you dispose of an animal? Why wouldn't you just put it in an incinerator?
I think they incinerate them.
Why do you freeze it then?
A backlog, perhaps.
Inventory purposes?
Inventory, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they want to skin them for a Dalmatian dog coat. Spots! 101 Dalmatians. Animated or live action.
You a big fan of Disney?
No.
Okay.
Walt Disney refused to give me that Gluck 9000.
Seems like you receive head.
He refused to
A whole
slob
lot.
on my knob.
You like getting head. So when you do your escort service...
I received the head.
So someone pays to give you head.
Correct. You never asked about that before.
Now I am.
Correct.
I find that
You know,
totally
Seth,
interesting.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulders of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time. Like tears in rain. Time to die. Blade Runner, 1982.
Haven't heard of it. Have you what do you do for recreation? Like, what do you do for fun? Besides touching yourself, watching movies.
Oh, besides touching myself and watching movies, watch movies.
I said besides touching yourself.
I don't touch myself sometimes when I watch movies. That counts as a different activity. Sometimes I sit in my garden
You have a garden
with all of my... Yes, I have many manicured bushes.
of.
One of them's a prancing horse. One of them's an elephant. I have an orangutan. You know, the like. I like my bushes well manicured.
Did you say orangutan?
An orangutan, there's no G on the end of it. Everybody pronounces it orangutan because of the British accent. Have you ever been to Ceylon, Seth?
I've been to Saigon. I had a guest on more recently that's also been to Saigon.
Was he one of your Saigon whores?
Well, he had a lot of Saigon horrors. He wasn't the kindest guest. I'll say that.
What happened to him?
Well, he claimed he fought in Panama.
There was a war there, was there not?
Wow, you're very knowledgeable on your wars.
Maybe I served alongside him
Oh no.
when we shot Apocalypse Now, 1978. I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Very interesting. Have you seen
I
MASH?
gained 80 pounds for that role.
80 pounds? Do you know how much that is?
80 pounds.
That,
Generally is 80 pounds.
That's a lot to gain for a role that I didn't even know you had.
They cut me out. I was in the lower third of the screen.
It's like they physically they took the film that they were filming
Correct.
on and cut it
Correct.
so that you weren't in it.
Correct. Francis Ford Coppola.
For gaining 80 pounds and being only in the lower third of the screen, I feel like it must have been
They
like
said
a
it was
wide shot.
inappropriate that I was miming giving a blowjob to Marlon Brando on set.
So it was towards the end.
Yeah.
Did you have any lines or were you just
Anybody ever tell you you look like Marlon Brando towards the end
towards the end?
when he died?
Let me throw up like a side by side. I guess they'll be the judge of that.
You do kind of.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting that you say that. Because I don't think I do. You ever seen MASH?
The film or the television show?
The show.
I have. I prefer the movie.
What's your favorite part in the show? Do you like
I like the scene where the helicopter is taking off at the very end of the show and there's a rock formation on the ground. No other scene in particular stands out to me. Do you have a favorite one?
Yeah, I like the one with the chicken.
What's that one about? I'm not familiar.
I don't know, my last guest did a whole thing about it.
You don't remember anything about it?
I kind of do, but it's not worth going into.
What are you? Chicken? Interesting little tidbit about the film MASH. The director, his son, wrote the lyrics to the theme song for MASH. It's called Suicide is Painless. Now, the director was paid, I believe, a fee of $70,000 to direct the film MASH. His son was not paid anything up front for writing the lyrics to the theme song for MASH, Suicide is Painless. The joke, of course, being that the lyrics would be ridiculous. You know, suicide is painless, talking about swords of fate, that sort of thing. Well, little did the father know that the theme song for MASH would go on to become a smash hit, and his son ended up getting royalties in excess of $1 million from writing nonsense lyrics over a very beautiful piece of music.
How does the song go?
Suicide is painless. Something like that. It brings on many changes.
Beautiful.
And I can take or leave it if I please. Something like that.
Man, you have a beautiful voice.
If only they would have appreciated me for the talkies.
I really do feel that way about that, you know. I feel like that you got dealt the wrong hand, you know, in your career. And, you know, this whole podcast, you know, you talking about your career and stuff, it really, does it make you reflect at all? Does it make you wish you made some different changes in your life?
I wish maybe I would have been Fritz Lang's lover.
Is that it? Is that all you regret?
Let me think.
You do a lot of thinking. If you're moaning while you're thinking, you sure do a lot of thinking.
You know, the funny thing about life, Seth, is I knew a man in high school. I wouldn't be comfortable enough to call him a friend. But one day he climbed up onto the Brooklyn Bridge and he jumped off. Allen Ginsberg wrote about this in his famous poem, Howl. He said, "Who jumps off the Brooklyn Bridge? This actually happened and walked away unknown and forgotten into the ghostly days of Chinatown soup alleyways and fire trucks. Not even one free beer." Howl, 1956.
I'm just realizing this. You love making references. So,
Do I love being self-referential, if you know what I'm saying.
since you know your references so well, in the last 10 minutes of this podcast, let's play a little game.
Who do you think you are, James Wan?
Let's play a little game. I'm going to name a movie.
He directed Saw.
I know that. I know that. I know that. I'm going to play a little game. I'm going to say a movie. You just tell me a quote from the movie.
No.
Move on. You don't want to play it. You can't cheat.
Sorry, I just got a text from my agent.
So you don't want to play the game then? The fun
We can
quiz?
play the game if you want. Name a film.
Okay. Ooh. One of my favorites. Treasure of the Sierra Madre, 1948.
That one's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Badges? We ain't got no badges. We ain't got no badges. We ain't need no stinking badges.
Flawless.
Is that good enough for you?
Yeah.
Big boy?
No, that's really good. That's impressive, I will say. Okay, what about Jaws 1975?
You know, everybody always says, I think we're gonna need a bigger boat. That isn't the quote from the film, though. Do you know what it is, Seth?
No. There was nothing. Nothing came out. You're an interesting character.
The room is already filled with so much smoke.
Yeah, all the stuff that you've been blowing up your own ass.
It reminds me of that time at James Dean's house. He offered to take me for a car ride after, but unfortunately I took him up on that offer and he got in a tragic car accident while he was giving me head.
So were you driving then?
Yes.
You killed James Dean?
Yes.
Because he was giving you head?
Correct. I was also in the car when Jane Mansfield crashed into a semi-truck with Mariska Hargitay in the back seat. Little known fact, that's actually why the bars on the bottoms of semi-trucks are there. Because Mariska Hargitay and her husband got decapitated.
Mariska Hargitay got decapitated?
Her parents did.
Oh. Well,
her dad was like an Olympian or something. That wasn't the guy that got killed, though.
Mariska Hargitay, she's in The Love Guru.
Oh, I love The Love Guru.
That's a movie you touch yourself to, isn't it?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, do you like the part where Guru Pitka is making the balls?
Hell yeah.
Dipping it in the hot boiling oil?
You know what else I really liked about that film? The fact that they had the guy who played Gandhi in it.
Ben Kingsley?
Sir
Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley.
Right. Always forget that part.
He was also in my magnum opus, 2002 Spooky House.
That's your magnum opus?
Correct.
Why
I
that?
directed it.
Oh, you directed it?
Correct.
So if I look it up right now, Spooky House.
Correct. It'll say Amos Adams.
It'll say Amos Adams.
Correct. And I wrote the theme song.
It
goes something like, Spooky House.
But so you go under Wanderlust now, though.
Correct.
Why?
Because the state of Tennessee made it a felony to be me.
There's a rule in Tennessee that you can't be Amos Adams?
No, I can't be Wanderlust. I do it in protest.
Did you protest all during...
I stand with all of our fellow drag performers.
You ever get COVID?
Not once. I've been vaccinated 40 times.
40?
Correct.
With what one?
AstraZeneca, the Nasonex, the Eli Lilly's, all of them.
None of those sound familiar. I'm so sorry.
Prilosec OTC.
That's not a... No.
Ask me a question about working with Ben Kingsley.
What was it like working with Ben Kling? Well,
Who?
Thank you so much for being on the episode. It's been great having you. Maybe what do you think about coming back for another interview?
You'll have me?
Of course.
I would love to come back.
It's free though. I don't pay you.
I'm just honored. I'm really, truly honored.
You have an OnlyFans or something you want to
I feel
plug?
loved and appreciated. It's at Wanderlust. I feel loved and appreciated like I haven't in so many years.
That's good.
I've lived alone
Okay.
in my home
You're gonna be okay. I
for
promise.
so long.
All the fans love you.
I'm so glad that you're going to be joining me.
Joining you.
You're going to move in, aren't you? My little gorgeous.
I don't think we... Okay. We haven't talked about this, really. But the... podcast is wrapping up.
Am I making you uncomfortable?
You're
Big boy.
not. No, this is good. This is good. I know what you want. You can.
I'm a licensed massage therapist.
Right. You're doing great.
That's your patellar tendon right there. Are you ticklish? Are you embarrassed to have Lainey see you this compromised on film?
How did you know my girlfriend's name?
I follow her on the gram, Seth.
Thank you so much for being on, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Which is going to be a great one. With a great guest.
Damn, you were really ticklish. Read a quote and then tell me what the film is and the year, and then I'm going to say the film and the year. Okay.
Wait, so you just want me to read the quote?
Read the quote, okay? Or you say the like Chinatown 1974. I'll do the quote. Okay, so you'll have to show me though. Okay.
That's so confusing.
Okay, you just say like find a quote on there.
Yeah.
Say okay, I have one. It's whatever, and then you flip the phone around and then I'll see it and then I'll read the quote from it. Okay.
So you want me to read the quote and then
No.
you?
You say the film and the year. You say Casablanca 1942, and then I will give the quote that you have found.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't want me to flip the phone at any point then?
No, you do. I don't know the 100 AFI quotes. How would I know that?
I feel like you would.
I don't.
So you just want me to say the movie and the year and then
Correct.
flip it and then you read the quote?
Yeah, but you have to like put it on the table or something. This has to be before we come back from this cut.
Okay, I'm ready. So I'm going to say the
Okay.
The movie.
You have to remember your half though, because I'm gonna have to read it.
My half? Of
Yeah,
what?
you're the fucking half of. Why can't you do this? You have to remember. You have to remember two things: a name and a year.
I can do that.
Okay, then remember that, and then give me the phone. Essentially,
Okay.
this is taking like 3 minutes.
Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. I know it.
Okay, which one is it?
The treasure of the Sierra Madre.